Welcome, Vault Dwellers. My name is Nacho Bidness. So we're with Cheaty McCheatface for our before shots here. If you want to know more about Cheaty, go check out her intro video. Today we are taking a look at the Slog. Now the Slog is a location where I spent a lot of time early on taking a look at YouTube videos and noticed that there were some videos that were like a hotel or motel that was built up around here. There were some that were a fairly standard settlement configuration with you know, junk fence walls around the outside, and most of them seemed to feature a big water purifier in the centerpiece of the settlement, which is this lovely pool. And I felt like that was, it's not wrong, it's just not a choice that I chose to make. I felt like this was something that we should exploit when it comes to what we do with the final design of the settlement. I find it ironic that this pool is clean water with no radiation in it, and yet only ghouls live at this settlement. So I wanted to play around with that a little bit. Now, as far as the size goes and the shape of it, it's pretty much a perfect square, and it's medium size. When we first arrive, there is a crop area here. There is a playground over here, which I regret scrapping this. At the time it felt like I needed the space for some things I was doing over on this side, but in retrospect I probably should have done a better job of incorporating that into the final build. Inside the only structure here, the ghouls have set up a couple of sleeping areas inside the pool showers, and the only other thing that really is going on over here is this little greenhouse area where Arlen Glass lives. I won't spoil it for anyone, but he is an engineer and an inventor, and you should go to Wilson Automatoys and look for holotapes and bring them back to him, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. So here we go. That's what the Slog looks like. Before we do anything to it, let's take a look at what I've come up with for my build here at the Slog. Okay, 3 quick notes before we get started. First, I use the green mods because I think they are more friendly. If all the plants were dead, then we would be too, because we need plants to breathe. Second, we're going to be touching on some topics like racism and Jim Crow laws and slavery today. And if I say something offensive, it is purely through my own ignorance. I will try and be sensitive. So if I say something horrible, I apologize in advance, and I hope you can forgive me. Third, we are in marine armor today because we need to hide our face. The ghouls here will tolerate humans, but they don't like us very much, and so we need to be incognito before we go into the main structure there. So, welcome to my take on the Slog. Now, Wiseman, when he's setting up the backstory for us in game, said that he wanted to make a safe place for ghouls, and I wanted to up the ante and make a great place for ghouls. So I have built the Ghoul Spa. Now, humans are tolerated here because the ghouls do still have to trade their tar berries, and they do still need contact with the outside world, but humans are tolerated only. You can see that the trading area for the caravanners is in the outside, and this fella has decided that standing inside a campfire is a good idea for some reason. There's a little gathering area out here for humans, and there is a hotel room here. Now this hotel room is quote-unquote separate but equal, and that's just an outright lie. Just like the Jim Crow era in American history, this is just shamefully bad in comparison to what's inside for the Ghoul guests. So the settlement is got a tenuous alliance with the Minutemen. They've allowed the Minutemen to set up one of their cannons here, but it is manned by a Ghoul. They wouldn't want any humans living around here. And we've got a small guard shack that is sparsely decorated but has all the necessities. It's got some shade and a place to sit for the guard, because they will tell you that they have not given up hope on their feral brethren, and they are hoping that someday that they're going to find a cure, and so they've got some ferals inside there is what they'll say, and that this guy is here just to keep any curious humans away, because as we all know, ferals are not hostile to other ghouls. So we've got a shack here that is that's our crafting shack. It's also one of my early experiments about mixing concrete with wood and steel, and kind of that false front thing there up at the front. The way that door is glitched in, that was kind of challenging to do, but I like the way that this turned out. It's got a weapons bench and an armor bench for anyone who wants to tune up their gear before they head back out into the Wasteland. The sign says that ghouls are welcome and everyone else stay away, and that's definitely the case. The power shed here is in here with Arlen Glass, because I don't like Arlen Glass very much. He kind of sounds a little bit pervy with all of his, there you go, and oh, that's it, when he's talking to that toy. So I put all the generators in there and hope that he'd die from carbon monoxide poisoning, and so far, no luck. So can't go in through the side here. You do have to go check in at the front desk there. We're just going to take a look at the outbuildings during the day here. So there's a lot of advertising on the front of the building here, including a sign for some Aquapura, a nice little callback to Broken Steel DLC and Fallout 3. There's a patio area here for guests to come out and relax and maybe throw something on the grill. There's a little spring house over here that is the source of their pure water for their pool. There's a spotlight that comes on when the door is open to warn the residents if anybody's coming over here and messing around with stuff they shouldn't be messing around with. The farm area is mostly untouched except for putting up this chain link fence around it. The ghouls have enough food to feed themselves and also to trade with any humans that come around. Put my turrets on some little bits of structure here just to try and make it feel a little bit more permanent and a little bit more realistic. The Vault-Tec representative lives here. I thought it would be nice, and oh, he must be somewhere else. He normally stands right there, and greets you as you come into his store. I thought it would be nice for him to live somewhere where after 200 years he wouldn't be persecuted anymore. In fact, here he's the normal person, and it's those damn smoothskins that are the oddballs. I mean, they're so weak, and they die when they're irradiated, and they don't live forever. I mean, good lord, who would ever be a human? So I like these skylights. They were added in with the mod, and it's a little bit cloudy outside, and the sun hasn't quite come out from behind the building, but for the daytime this is well lit without any artificial lights. In fact, you can see here the one light that's in here is currently off. So I had to glitch some wood railings in there at the top to try and fill in that gap, but I think the overall effect is pretty good. You don't really notice that those are wood railings, and from the outside it's just got kind of a nice scrappy look to it without any real noticing that we use some parts in an unusual way. So there's not a crazy power system here like I did over at Murkwater. It's just one switch that turns all the lights on and off for the place. We've got the turrets on a separate always on circuit because those forged maniacs that live over there are constantly trying to come charging up the hill and causing trouble. So the outside of the main building is not terribly interesting to look at, and that's okay. That's actually by design because we don't want people to be spending their time outside here. We want them to be inside, spending their caps on what's indoors. So let's advance the clock and see what it looks like after dark.